Hello and welcome. This is shit, fuck me. Hello. So now I'm going to talk to you about how to create visual aids using Keynote. So as you can see, you're looking at my desktop now. This is my desktop. So I'm going to explain from zero how to create a visual aid. So in the desktop, I'm going to look for, so if you're using a Mac, then it'll be on your desktop, it'll be in Finder. So go to Finder and look for applications. Applications is here, and go to Keynote in the applications folder. So I'm going to click on Keynote, and then I'm going to explain how to do it using a Windows system. Okay, so here's Keynote, double click, and you open the application. And my presentation is how to create a Keynote presentation. Okay, now we move on to Windows. So in a Windows system, you open a browser. I'm using this browser, which is Google Chrome. And then you go to iCloud.com. You log into iCloud, and inside of the iCloud.com, you will have Keynote. So this can be used for free online. Anybody can create an account. It's an account with Apple, and anybody can use Keynote for free. And then you just double click on Keynote, and it opens the Keynote in the browser. Okay, so today we're going to use Keynote not in the browser, but on the desktop. Okay, so let's look at using Keynote on the desktop. So now I've opened my Keynote. The first thing I need to do, so we're going to create a presentation like this. The first thing I need to do is go to File and open a new file. So here we go, New. So the first one on the top of File is New. So open New, and you have a menu. Here's the menu. So in this menu, we have many different presentations that we can use. Some of them very flashy and arty. But we're not going to use a flashy and arty presentation today. We're going to do basic Keynote use. So we're going to use basic white. So choose this basic white presentation slide and hit create. So here we go, hitting create. Okay, so next we want to create the first slide. So I'm going to move over to the slides I've already created, and we're going to have a look at creating the next slide. And I'll explain exactly why these slides are created. Okay, so I'm going to go to File and Open Recent. So this is the how to make a slide. Here we go. So this is my first slide in my Keynote presentation. So you can see it's very simple. It says how to create a keynote presentation. This is very simple with a graphic in the middle. So the graphic is just to give attention to the audience. So this slide would probably be used while the audience is waiting for the presentation to happen. And then my second slide will be the actual beginning of my presentation. And this is the first slide. So we see it's blue and it's not the same colors as the other slide. So I'm going to change it. So we're going to go to background of here on the right and change to a white background, no fill. So press on no fill and we should have a white background. Okay, that hasn't gone to color fill. Okay, and here we go, color. Okay, that's white background. There you go. Keynote presentation, basic use. So the first slide was a graphic with the title. And the second slide is the name of the presentation, keynote presentation. And then the second wording is basic use. And then the name of the presenter, which is me, Tam Young, and the date. So I'm using the date that I created this. I created it on the 24th of the 3rd of March, 2021. I could use the date that I'm going to give the presentation. That's also fine. Okay, now let's move on to the third slide. So this is the third slide. And the third slide is bullet points to show what I'm going to talk about in this presentation. So you can see the first bullet point is how to create a title. Second is making a second slide. And then third is rule of 5. And this is my main topics of my presentation. And I have a graphic here to show what the presentation is about. This graphic shows a keynote example. So this is very easy visual to see what the presentation is about. So in each slide, I'm going to have some kind of graphic or some kind of written thing, which I'm not. So in some cases, I'm going to use the words. In some cases, I'm not going to explain the words. Okay, let's move on to slide 4. So slide 4 is using one of the titles that I had in my lineup of three titles. So that's how to create a title. And then I have a graphic in the top left-hand corner. Okay, let's look at slide 5. And then making a second slide. So here there's no graphic, so I'm going to teach you how to put in a graphic. So we go up here to the top of your software and you look at media. So using media, I'll add the graphic. So go to the menu down and go to choose, because this will choose something from my desktop. So I prepared my pictures on my desktop. These are in PDF, but you can use different versions. For example, JPG works, PDF works. These are the two main, and also JPEG also works. So these are the 3 formats that you can use. Okay, so we're going to take this PDF and we're going to use this as a graphic. I'm going to insert it in here. Okay, so I'm focusing on what this is saying. It says making a second slide. So I'm going to focus on second. Okay, and this graphic focuses on second. I'm going to check whether it works. So I'm going to press play. This puts the slide into full screen so I can see whether it's going to look good when I give the presentation. Okay, that looks good. Everything's clean and the graphic is clear. The font is not too big and not too small. Okay, that works. Okay, now I go out of full screen by pressing escape and we'll move on to the 6th slide. So 6th slide is rule of 5. So I'm going to explain the rule of 5 now. So the rule of 5 means when you create a slide, you don't want to have more than 5 words on each sentence and no more than 5 sentences on each slide. Okay, so let's look at, for example, go back to slide 3. Let's count how many words we're using here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's my maximum that I need to use. So if I put another word here, then that's too much. Okay, and then going down, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have 3. That's fine. I'm using the rule of 5. Okay, if I had more words on this sentence, then I'd be in trouble. Okay, so the reason for using this rule is to make every slide clear and simple for the audience to read. Not because we think the audience is stupid, it's because we want to help the audience understand straight away. It needs to be the first 3 seconds when somebody looks at the slide, they should be able to understand the slide. If there's lots of complicated words and lots of complicated sentences, it makes it difficult to concentrate on the presentation. So we want to keep it simple to help the audience to concentrate and understand the presentation really well. Okay, so I've taught you how to add a graphic, but now on this slide, I'm going to teach you how to add words to our slide. Okay, so what we want to do now is we have the rule of 5, but within the rule of 5, I want to make the sentence. So I'm going to add text, press the text button in the middle of your presentation here, okay? And the text comes up here. Okay, double click, and then write the text. So talking about rule of 5, so the rule of 5 is no more than 5 words per sentence. Okay, so this is difficult to read, as you can see. So what we need to do is remedy that first. So what we're going to look at is the color of the text. So color of the text is gray, and gray is difficult to see on a white background. So I'm going to change the gray here on the right, press here and go to black. Black is very easy to see on white. Okay, so I'm going to also increase the font size. So to increase the font size, we go over here to font and increase the size. So we want this font to be about 40 points. So I've increased that to 40 points. Okay, and then you can see the spelling correction is there. So there's an underlined in red, so that needs to be corrected. So let's change that. Okay, here we go. Okay, and look at the options here. No options, so let's try here. Okay, good. Okay, and how does it look? Well, it's okay, but maybe we need it as a bullet point. So to get it as a bullet point, what I'm going to do is go over here, move this over here, click, double click on the sentence, and then this menu will come up here, and then I can change. Okay, so I want this to be a bullet point. So the bullet point list is down here, and at the moment it says none. To change this to bullet. There you go, 1 bullet point. Okay, and check, is this rule correct? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Too many words. Okay, so how do I get this sentence down to 5 words per sentence? No more than 5 words per sentence. Okay, so how about If I take this out, no more than 5 per sentence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, still 6. Okay. This is a challenge here. Okay, what can we do? Okay, no more. Okay, there we go. Okay, how does that look? Okay.
What else have you got down there?
Can you be quiet? I'm going to do a recording now.
Yeah, go on. Hurry up.
Beep. Okay, so looking at these sentences, looking at the rule of 5. So at the moment, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words on this slide. So no more than 5 words per sentence. It's too long. We need to cut it down to 5. So this is how I'm going to cut it down. So delete it. Then change it to 1, okay, 1 sentence less than 5. Okay, so this sentence might not be fully understandable if you just read it, but during your presentation, you're going to explain it. So the things that are written on the presentation slides are not things that you just want your audience to read and understand. They're aiding you to communicate about things that are written. So you're not going to be reading what is written. You're going to be explaining what is written to help your audience understand what you're communicating about. Okay, so I'm going to change this sentence to 1 slide less than 5. Okay, good. Okay, so 1 sentence is going to be less than 5 words, and 1 slide is going to be less than 5 sentences. So during the presentation, this system will be explained. So therefore, I don't need to write down a long explanation about these sentences. So we're keeping it simple. Okay, so we're using the rule of 5 to keep it simple. Okay, now we're going to move on to slide 7. So I'm adding slide 7 now. So what I'm going to use is a blank slide. So we're going to pick up a blank slide from here. Here we go, another blank slide. And this is the final slide. So I want to put a picture of myself and a way of getting into contact with me. So very simply, I just take a picture from my desktop, which is from Media, go to Media again, go to Choose, and pick it up from my desktop here. Here's the picture of me. I'm going to insert it in, insert. Okay, now here it comes. Oh, it's a bit big, so we have to resize it. So when the picture is showing these blocks, it makes it easy to resize. So you grab one of the corner blocks and move it down and put it to the size that you want. Okay, this is the size that I want, and I want to make it look like a picture, so I'm going to use this image style. So on the right hand side, you can see image style. So I'm going to use an image style like this. This makes it look like a picture. Okay, and then I'm going to add my contact details. So I'm going to go up to text again, and I'm going to write my email address. So my email address is info@leafylearn.com. That's my email address. And I'm going to write contact in the front. Contact or email. Okay, you can write contact or you can write email. So this is what I'm going to write, email. Okay, very simple and clear. Because this is, again, gray, so it's difficult to read, I'm going to change that, again, by going to clicking on the text, and then going to the font style, looking at the black one here, and then increasing the font size. We want it very clear so people can see the email address and write it down. So if it's not big, then it's going to be difficult to do. So here we go, make a space. Okay, now my picture is very visible and my email address is very clear. And that's going to be my last slide for this presentation. Okay, let's check, make it big, see how it looks. Okay, very clear picture. You can see my face and very clear email address, keeping it simple every time. Okay, so this is the basic use of using Keynote. There's many different tools and you can use shapes, you can do underlining, but this is the basic use. So remember, keep your slides simple. If you want to add a graphic, pictures are very useful because they help you to convey your message, convey what you're talking about. Try to use pictures that are connecting the topic to what you're talking about. So if you're going to use a picture and it's not connected, there's no point in using the picture. So if you're going to use a picture, keep it connected. If you're going to use sentences, make sure you use the rule of 5. And thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.